and today I will be talking about organic foods. And by the way, if this is your first time here, my name is Denise and I welcome you. And if you're returning and you're finding my videos useful, please consider liking and subscribing. Doing so will help my new channel grow. I'm just starting to figure it all out right now. And if you're really liking this and you're finding it useful and you feel like it's going to be useful more in the future, then please consider subscribing and liking my video. Okay, so what is organic? That's thrown around quite a bit, right? Organically grown foods are those that comply with a set of government standards and usually include, depending on what country you're from and the standards that they are using, GMO free, so that's genetically modified organisms, so it has to be free of that. Chemical pesticide free, so they don't use any chemical pesticides, right? And just only things that are natural. Hormone-free livestock and antibiotic-free raised livestock, and has to be free of chemical fertilizers. And also the product, if it's a finished product, it has to be made without preservatives, colors, or flavors. So it has to have all of that for it to be called organic. So to have that organic logo, it needs to have those. And if it doesn't, then it's not allowed to have that logo. All right, and so here's or an example. Here is an example of organic rice. So if you are interested in choosing organic options, you can look for organic ingredients, like in the rice, they say organic rice. But if you really want to be certain that it is organic, then just check out the logo. And if it is organic, the logo would be there. And it actually helps the company to put that logo on there, because organic foods are usually more expensive. And if they have that logo, they can usually charge a higher price. Okay, so the main idea around organic, or the main thing concerning organic, is environmental sustainability. I will not go into environmental sustainability in this session. I can talk for hours on that subject, but that's not what this is about. I'm focusing completely on organic. Other concerns that people have for choosing organic are the concern for pesticide residue in the foods or in water, and the health risks associated with that. All right, and so now I'm going to throw out to you, so you could think about these in your head, a few true or false questions. So I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to give you 5 seconds to think of whether or not you think this is true, and then I will answer it. Organic foods are more expensive than conventional. True or false? Okay, that is true. Raising organic foods is more labor intensive and requires more input as far as the cost goes. However, some organic producers say it pays off in the long run, as the lack of chemical fertilizers and pesticides helps to restore the land, and input costs actually go down. So as the work in the land more, the land actually works for them, because the nutrients become more available and they have to put less input into their produce. If demand for organic increases, the cost compared to the non-organic or the conventional will likely decrease, but we just don't have as much demand, or at least, this is a Canadian perspective. There's not a whole lot of demand for organic compared to conventional. And a lot of people say the cost is the reason. So number 2. True or false? Organic foods are more nutrient rich than conventional. That is false. There is no evidence that organic foods have a nutrition benefit. The nutrition content in an organic versus a conventional is pretty much identical. Like I said, the main benefit is environmental sustainability, and that is quite a huge benefit, by the way. Okay, I think I just answered number 3, but I'll throw this question out there. Okay, true or false? Organic is better for the environment. Okay, that is true, but there is a gray area around this. Believe it or not, it is true that pesticides and fertilizers upset nature's delicate balance. With the use of these chemicals, soil organisms die and the soil basically becomes dead as well. Natural soil contains millions of individual microorganisms and some insects and some other living matter. Soil is not just dirt, it's not just mineral. There is so much in soil that, you know, it's just incredible. Unless you've taken a soil science course, you have no idea what's in that soil. It is amazing. And when you use the chemical fertilizers and the pesticides, that disappears, and then you end up with nothing but just mineral. And it looks different, it smells different, it feels different, and it's, since crops are used to growing, I mean, they're evolved to grow in actual soil, not just a mineral mix with chemical fertilizers and pesticides and other things like that added to it. So they grow a lot easier in the regular soil. So yeah, when you apply the pesticides and also the fertilizers, that kills some of the soil life as well because it's a salt. Then the soil can no longer work to make nutrients available because the soil, all of these organisms are there to make the nutrients available. That's how the nutrients become available in the first place, is because of all these organisms. And when they're not there, they're not available. And so the person on the conventional farm has to put more and more and more fertilizers into their crops as their soil dies more and more. And there are other environmental advantages of organic, but I'm not going to go into detail with that. So the gray area exists when we feel that our environmental footprint is smaller when we are choosing organic. So yes, overall, the environmental footprint is smaller with organic just because we don't have these inputs that are damaging the environment in ways that we don't even understand. But the gray area is with the transportation, because the organic farms aren't just everywhere. They might be far away. So your organic produce might have had to come from a long way away. And that transportation cost, that emissions, then that adds to the environmental footprint. And so that's part of that gray area. And also part of that gray area is the spoilage. When you're not using preservatives and when you're not using the actual pesticides, the food tends to spoil pretty quick, and that's good. I mean, I'm glad when I see my produce, something, it actually goes bad. Food is supposed to go bad. It's supposed to rot. That means that other organisms are eating it. When they don't eat it, then there's a problem with that food, you know, and you think, you know, should I be eating it too? But the thing is that the organic produce, you probably will have to throw it away a lot quicker than you would with the conventional. And that is part of that gray area, because the environmental cost or the environmental footprint associated with that food waste. But just be careful, don't get something that you're not going to be able to consume in that time, and be aware of the fact that it might spoil quicker than what you're used to. However, yeah, overall, organic is generally more environmentally sustainable. Choosing organic is a matter of values. You know, whether or not to choose organic, you know, there's not a right or wrong, it's a value. You know, what do you value? If you value environmental sustainability to the point where you are okay with it, that extra cost, then that is fine. But that is your value. It might not be somebody else's, and that's okay. It's not right or wrong. And that values is also another topic I could talk for hours on, but I'm not going to. If environmental sustainability is high on your list of values, then organic might be a wise choice for you. If your priorities are focused on feeding your family and you are financially constrained, then the less expensive conventional choice might make sense for you at this time. And you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel like you're destroying the environment because you're not choosing organic, or you don't worry about the nutrition in the conventional. It's no different than it is in the organic. And pesticide residues on food is very, 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 very rare, to the point where, you know, it's not really an issue. So you don't have to worry about that if the cost of feeding your family is your main priority. So that is all I have to say for now, and thank you for watching.